Can a ball help you learn? Why, yes. Yes, it can. I'm a firm believer in the learning styles, that we all have a dominant one that really helps us to learn best. I have done a series of videos on the different learning styles that you can see, but today what I want to do is to go even further and by looking at some ways that we can help our children succeed. Specifically today, I want to look at the kinesthetic or the hands-on learning style and how we as parents can help our hands-on students succeed. Hi, welcome to Learning Life. My name is Michaela and thank you so much for watching. Well, today I want to look at that kinesthetic, that hands-on, let's call it the hands-on learner, the one that learns best by moving. Their body actually has to be physically engaged in movement for them really to connect with what they are learning. Now, often these children can be sort of described as difficult at school, but the fact is they just can't sit still for long periods of time. Their body needs to be moving. And we shouldn't be categorizing them as hyperactive, and I think sometimes miscategorized as ADD. It's just that they're learning in a different way. And as parents and as teachers, we need to know our child's style so that we can really help support them and help them to succeed. Now, if you know someone that has a child that's maybe been borderline described as difficult, share this because maybe their child is a hands-on learner and this will provide some great strategies for them. I have a hands-on learner in my house and I look at the way that she moves and even will hang upside down while watching television. Her body engages in movement while she is learning something. And I think that that's pretty awesome. So strategies. How can we, as parents, be helping our children? Because I think that this is important. My heart is always that our children are succeeding, that they are feeling confident and good about themselves in their learning. Well, there are some great little strategies that we can use, whether at home or in the classroom, though probably for the classroom, you would have to have the teachers, yes, this is okay to do because some of them are a little bit different. But if you can use these at home, if you're homeschooling, or just during your homework time to really help our kids. Now, one of the things they really need are manipulatives, those things that you can just move. Things like Play-Doh. We love Play-Doh in our house. We make Play-Doh, so it just lasts a long time. But you can use it to make it into letters, into different shapes. So many cool things that we can do with Play-Doh. There's also blocks and Lego bricks and those sorts of things. Number lines, which are great when you can laminate them. They've just got the numbers. It helps our children to be counting, to be doing addition, subtraction. Number lines are great. Why? Because their finger can move. If you don't have a number line, just use a ruler. That's one of my little tips there. And I love things that can then become a treat. We often use M&Ms or Skittles to help with counting or even using colors and sequencing and those sorts of things. Make them into groups, count out, do those things. And Cheez-Its, I've learned, are really great for area. That perfect little square is great for our older kids to learn about area, and you get to eat it afterwards. Manipulatives are important, both in the classroom and at home. In fact, most of these things are going to work great in the classroom or if you're homeschooling or just during homework time. Now, some of them, though, you will need teacher approval to be able to have it in the classroom. But if that doesn't happen there, that's okay. Everything that we can do at home to be supporting our children is great. Now, movement is also very important. Their bodies need to be moving. If you're doing homework or homeschool, just remember, don't make them sit for a long period of time. They want to move. And things that we can use are like balls. I think balls are great. I love using and throwing balls for things like learning the alphabet or spelling words or skip counting, where you're tossing it from one person to the other to spell out that word or to skip count 2, 4, 6, 8. Great for times tables because once they learn to skip count, then they can put those ideas of timetables in. So balls are great things to have. A trampoline is also fantastic. We at home have a little one, so we can use it inside. We also have an outside. But get your hands-on child out there on the trampoline so they can be learning their spelling words as they are jumping. Again, that movement is just so good for them. Now, exercise balls are another great thing as a seat, especially as a seat. I have used that in the classroom. I had one student that could make any chair squeak, like any chair. And really what he needed was something that would allow him to move. And exercise balls are great for this. They can sit on them and just be rocking their hips back and forth. You really don't want them to be bouncing up and down, especially if you're looking at them. I know for me, I get a little seasick, but their body can engage in moving and they're able to focus. It's a weird bit of science, but it is true. And another fun thing is to get like chalk and to just write the letters or the numbers or the words, whatever it is that you're studying, just out on the ground. Or if you can't get outside and write on your driveway, use Post-it notes or stuff around the house. And so what you have is your child jumps from one to the other. What is the correct response? Jump to that. Again, their body is physically involved in movement and it helps the brain to engage. So movement and manipulatives. We also have studying, especially for our older kids. Now, I always tell any of the students that I work with, do not do a long period of time with studying. Okay, it works across the board, but especially for our hands-on learners, you need to break studying up into smaller chunks. They can't just sit there for a long period of time. And in that, as you're breaking up in your smaller chunks, sit on the floor for part of it, walk around the room for part of it, bop up and down for part of it. Just each different thing, allow that body to have that movement in that smaller chunk. Now, playing games is fun. Board games, Monopoly, Sorry, even just running around the house games like hide and seek. Tweak it, hide the word that they need to find or whatever the information is they need to find, and they have to run and try to find it. We're engaging that body, which connects to the brain and allows that focus and to learn. Now, experiments and hands-on kits. I love things like this. Or there's science kits that you can get in the stores on Amazon. They're great. And on the website, I'll actually give you a few great ones that are out there. Why are these great? Why are experiments great? Because they're actively involved. And I think cooking is part of that. Make your cooking experimental. They're being involved, they're cross subjects, and their bodies are engaged. Field trips are important, whether at school or homeschooling, just getting out there. There are so many wonderful things that we can learn outside, whether it's a nature walk or going to an historical site or even a museum where you are moving from one place to the next. Have you noticed movement again? These are why field trips are great for our hands-on learners. And the last thing I think is great is that tactile stimulus we need. I'll often use those for kids that have some processing or some ADD sort of tendencies, but for our hands-on learners, this can be great, especially if they're in the classroom and they really do want to move, but they can't. A rubber band that they can just have like on their wrist to pull or like in their hand so they're not distracting anybody. Or get some of that stick-on Velcro and put it underneath their desk. Because what they can do while they're listening is just run their finger back and forth across the Velcro. They're not disturbing anybody, but it's giving their body some of that physical movement. Or you could put those big bands around the legs of the chairs. And this is another good one because they can bounce their feet on it or move it back and forth, again, without distracting people around them. Push balls, like squeeze balls, anything like that is going to be good because even in the small little manner of movement, it is going to help our students, our hands-on learners. And I know that for me, that is like my heart. I just want to see all students succeed. And I know as parents, we want that for our kids, especially if maybe they've got a different learning style that's not fully catered in the school system, and that's okay. These are things that we can be doing at home. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you have anything that you use in your house with your hands-on learner that I haven't covered, I would love to know. Just drop me a line. Or if there's anything you want me to talk about, I would love to do so. Just let me know. And if you believe in these videos and you would like to see some more, a great way to do that would be to support us through Patreon. And I would just be so very thankful for that. Well, next week, we're going to look at how we can help our visual learners succeed. And thank you so much for watching.